Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's been PF. On today's episode we're going to be talking about the #1 selling whisky brand in the world, and that is Officer's Choice. Now this is the blue label variety, not the standard Officer's Choice, so this is designed to be the kind of upgrade from it. This is Indian whisky, so produced in India, but this is actually blended with rare Scotch malts, and we're talking about actual malts here, so it's not blended with Scottish grains, it's blended with Scottish malts. But as I said, it's the highest selling brand in the world, so that's Officer's Choice generally. You know, it's aimed at the kind of daily wage earners, and this is meant to be the kind of next level up from that. And I've seen varying prices for this online. You can't really get this in the UK, but it's it's cheap. It's cheap whiskey. You know, the highest price I saw it for that I could get it for worked out to about £13, but I've seen it as low as like £3 or £4 in the conversion from rupees. But I thought I'd better cover this because in the whiskey yearbook, in the back there's a bunch of resources, and this was there as like kind of #1. We're talking about, in 2017, we're talking about the 32 million 9-litre cases of Officer's Choice total across the range was sold. And if you compare that to Johnnie Walker, which is the highest selling Scotch brand in the world, they're 5th on the list, so the top 4 in 2017 at least were Indian whiskies. They sold 18.3 million 9-litre cases. That's, you know, in comparison to the 32 million, so big old difference. So whiskey at the moment is extremely popular in India, so I thought I must cover this. When I saw Phil at Whiskey Wednesday, he covered it. I asked him if he had a spare bit left, and he sent me the last of his bottle and the bottle itself. Now I've had to pour it out into something else because this cap is a bit funny. It's like a, see that? It's like a pourer's cap. So I couldn't get it back in, unfortunately. So it's actually, he actually sent it to me in another little bottle here. So I have this much left of it to drink. Now, interestingly, it gives you a lot of information on the bottle that you don't get generally on Scotch. My favourite of which is the consumption of liquor is injurious to health. Good for all of us, I think. And it also says 75 degrees proof. I really don't know what that means, so hopefully one of you can let me know. But yeah, so 42.8%, interesting number. It's a blend of Scotch malts and select Indian grain spirits, it says, but it also says on the ingredients list, neutral grain spirit, which is a really basic, flavourless, like, I don't know, spirit's the best word to describe it as. It really doesn't taste or smell of anything. And we use it for a basis of like gin and things like that, but that's one specifically grain made, whereas like gin can be made from anything. It can be made from potatoes and all sorts of other stuff. It's kind of like a vodka almost, let's say, but a grain version of it. Let's get into the nose and see what we've got with this thing, because Phil didn't really like it, but you know, who knows? I might. Oh, well, it's got quite a potent nose on it. In terms of kind of flavours, it's really chemically. It's almost like dare I say, a little bit citrusy. So it's almost like a kind of lemon washing up liquid, or some kind of detergent. Not so good, not so good. I don't like the nose on this. It's extremely alcoholic. It actually reminds me a little bit of kind of really cheap gin, but let's get onto the palate. I mean, there's some sweetness there for sure. Some caramel, some sugars. Loads more of them chemical notes you're getting from the nose. I'm going to say it as well, that little bit of citrus is there, a little bit of lemony. And for me, don't like it, of course. It's not great in comparison to some of the stuff I've tried, but it reminds me a little bit of the Johnnie Walker Red Label. I wish I had some to compare it with, because I really didn't like that, and it's got that kind of chemical note to it that really cheap kind of basic spirit produces. But it's quite drinkable. Let's say it's quite drinkable, but enjoyable, probably not. Not to say, you know, if this is one of your favourite whiskies, if you are watching it from India, of course, and you like this thing, fair play to you, because it's certainly cheap enough. It's about as cheap as the Highland Black 8 in the UK, which I also didn't like, unfortunately. Just not my taste, just not my taste. I think if you're into this sort of thing, then great. I'm kind of glad that we don't get this over here, but I can kind of see why it's the most selling whiskey in the world, because they just must bulk produce this thing like crazy. yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click on more, and I'll see you again on the next video. And that should be, start again. Neutral spirit, as we said, it was flavourless and smelled. What am I talking about? It aimed at the kind of the lower